Hello and welcome to the live stream. Glad you all are here. Glad that you could join us. I can't believe, I think this is like our second or third week of doing this, and it's starting to take on a rhythm of its own, and I'm really happy about that. So I'm really glad that you guys are here. Really glad that you were able to be a part of this, and everybody that keeps logging in and checking us out, I am very happy about that. Hopefully you all, hopefully we're getting through our sound issues and all of that stuff. So hopefully taking care of all of that, trying to get rid of the reverb and all of that stuff. So it's an ongoing process. So basically today what I'm going to do is just kind of do a review and go through some stuff that we've been doing. I'm going to be and make sure if there's an issue with the sound, please be sure to let me know in the chat. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to go over a couple things, make sure that we know where we as a group are as far as the events and everything that we have coming up in Vineyard Student Ministries, and then talk to you guys about a little project that I'm going to be trying to work on. So first of all, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to show you guys. Okay. Oh, yeet. All right. So first of all, just going to go over a couple things, make sure that we are aware of what's going on. Today I did drop off a burrito at Shiloh's house as her reward for also winning the video contest. And just a reminder that we do have our scavenger hunt. And so here is the information for the scavenger hunt. I will excited to see what we've got going on there. Um, I think that I'm interested to see the creativity at work. I'm interested to see what you all can do to make that happen. Let me get this set up here, and I will. And what I'm going to do now is, oh, hey, Abby, welcome. Glad that you are here. Glad that you are showing. Glad that you have shown up. I was about to cry. Make sure I'm glad that you're okay. And so now the next thing I want to show you is our game night. And so you can see that we have the game night coming up this Sunday at 6:30. Here's what we need for this, for the game night. Okay, what everybody is going to need for the game night is a computer for Zoom. This can be shared. It doesn't have to be one computer per person. If there are siblings, they can all use the same screen, but we need one person. Each person needs to have a mobile device, whether that's a tablet, whether that's a phone. It doesn't matter which one. You just need to have access to a mobile device. We're going to do that Sunday night at 6:30. The address is vsmsundaynitro.com. That'll take you right into the Zoom classroom and make that happen. So we are going to be doing that. Abby, we also did the reminder for the photo scavenger hunt of things that we are going to be and the items that we are looking for. I put it on Instagram and Facebook, so your mom should have a copy of it as well. And I can see that Deal is incredibly excited about this concept. I like that. All right, so let's take a look. Make sure to add this. Okay, and then I'm going to give you a little bit of an update on the schedule as far as what we're doing on YouTube. Yeah, I think it is going to be a lot of fun. So here's what I have planned for YouTube next week. Monday, I'm issuing a challenge. I'm not telling you to who, and I'm not telling you what that challenge is. But I'm feeling a little feisty, and I'm going to be issuing a challenge. Also, Tuesday, I'm going to be showing scavenger hunt pictures. We're going to take a look and see what creativity you all came up with. Very excited about that. I think it's going to be fun. Wednesday, special guest. I'm bringing in Kristen McLaughlin, a really good friend of mine, and she is going to be sharing about how you can minister and how you can still follow God's will. And shockingly, it doesn't have to be as a pastor or in ministry. So I'm excited for that and seeing how that plays out. I think that's going to be awesome. Thursday, story time. The book that I have, out of range, the book that has been suggested is, and let me just get the camera back on. The story that has been recommended is going to be Llama Destroys the World. So Llama Destroys the World by Jonathan Stutzman, illustrated by Heather Fox. And as you can see, he is Llama. So we're going to have that going on. Yeah, the challenge, I think it will be fun. But of course, with any challenge, it has to be accepted. So whoever I call out, I hope that they accept. Will it be a youth? Will it be a leader? Will it be a professional wrestler? Will it be this llama? You'll never know. And then you should do Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus. I think that we have that one. I might have to do that. We could have our story time scheduled for quite a ways out. I like that. All right, so that's what's going to be on next week on YouTube. And then let's take a look. Let me get back on here. So Friday, it says challenge accepted, meaning that if the challenge is accepted, you will hopefully see either the challenge happen live or the results of said challenge on Friday. So that's going to be what's next week on YouTube. I know it says this week on YouTube, but what are you going to do, huh? All right. So that being said, now I'm not, so when I was younger, I really wanted to be a journalist, a sports journalist. I wanted to be a sportscaster in the worst possible way. No, I mean next Friday. So it's next Friday. So I wanted to be a journalist in the worst possible way. And, you know, God ended up having other plans for me. And I'm so thankful that he did. And he called me into ministry. And I'm on this path right now where I'm a youth pastor. But now we seem to have this, it seems like everybody and their mother has a podcast. And anybody can have a podcast if they really want to. And I don't have aspirations of being this, making tons of money off of podcasts or being this celebrity or whatever. I don't. But I have been looking for an outlet that I like to share just observations or things. And yes, on these channels, Priska did make the suggestion of doing a podcast, and I've had one a while back. But I've had other students and people. It is a step up from assistant janitor. Truth. But I've had other youth over time, and people just say, have you ever thought of giving podcasting a try? And I did, and I just felt aimless doing it. And now that we have this time, and we're in this age, we're in this time of quarantine where it's like just refocusing and getting to figure out, what are some things I want to do along the way. I have decided to come up with a Sequel Podcast Network. And so what I'm going to be doing is starting Monday, May 4th, 2020, I am going to be launching a weekly podcast. Now, I call it the Sequel Podcast Network because I wanted to provide a place for people who do podcasts based on their passion for the topic that they're speaking about. I'm not trying to make money. I'm not trying to make this some multimedia conglomerate. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm all about creating environments and spaces for people to flourish. And obviously right now it's just starting with me. I have no plans of who or how the expansion, if there's even one, but I just wanted to have a place for it. And oh, you came in just in time, Priska. I'm talking about the podcasting stuff. And welcome. So I am oh, okay. I'm glad that you are here. I just wanted to provide a space for it. Now, right now, it's going to be me, and I'm not saying that I have this expansion plan, but I always love to have a space and anticipate in case you never know what will happen down the road. So here's what's going to happen. The goal is for me to share things that I've learned and observed along the way that could be helpful to others, as well as provide just an environment for people to think outside the box. I like to initiate discussion. I like to take a creative look at things, not necessarily in a poking holes, challenging, destroying type of way, but just a way to have some discussion and take a look at things and not be afraid to ask some questions. So I'm going to start out by doing 2 podcasts. It's going to alternate each week. On the first and third Mondays, I'm going to have what's called the Encounter podcast. This is the original one that I tried to launch a while back. Basically, it's just kind of sharing insights on my journey with Christ. It's very similar to what we do in youth group, where when I just talk about certain insights and struggles and things that I've learned along the way. It's going to be a combination of observations, life experiences, scriptures that are impacting me, what I'm being invited to by God as I'm growing in my relationship with Christ, and also my experiences, as a married father of 3 who is in ministry. And so just trying to see if there's anything that can be of benefit to anybody. I haven't named the second podcast that I'm going to do. That'll be on the second and fourth Mondays. It'll all be under the same channel. So if somebody subscribes to the Sequel Podcast Network, it's going to be the same thing across the board. Basically, and you guys have seen this, and this was really inspired by my wife, taking leadership examples from pop culture like movies, TV, and highlighting leadership principles. That's another story for another day. And it's showing how that would realistically look in the world we are today. So there are just so many times I see things played out and I'm like, wow, that's a perfect example of this concept. And I use those examples, and it started from my wife encouraged me to take this and actually put it in podcast form. But a buddy of mine, one of my best friends, he would when he would try to explain something, he would use like a scene from a movie and go, it's like that. And so I'll see these things and these observations, but then take it and see what does that tangibly look like, because it's easy to say it and it's easy to see it in this ideal form. But a lot of times I think we'll get discouraged by seeing that in a perfect environment that would be true, but what about in this environment? And so I'm going to do that. Also, some random podcasts. Now that once this channel gets up and running, I can post about whatever I want, about my favorite topics. I may bring in a buddy of mine and talk about pro wrestling, sports. The NFL draft is this weekend. I may share something about the NFL draft. I'm not sure. But May 4th will be the official launch date. Next week, I will have, like, for example, this Rainbow Connection thing. You never know. Next week, I'll have more information about all of that. But, so I'm kind of excited. And I'll tell you right now, I will tell you I'm a little worried and concerned about doing this, because one thing that I do struggle with on projects like this is consistency. And I want to do it, and I want to make sure that I do it and keep consistent, because if people subscribe, if anybody is bored enough that they would subscribe to this podcast, I want to make sure to provide consistent content, much like this YouTube streaming and much like we've talked about. So just stay posted. I'll keep you posted. Stay tuned. We'll see what's going to happen there. But basically today was just to make sure that we were caught up on everything that we're doing. So just a reminder, I'll post a couple things up again. We will have the scavenger hunt. I'm excited about this. I know I keep saying it, but I just want to see what happens when creativity is turned loose. And I hope we get more than 2 people participating, because, maybe those 2 people wish that it would be only those 2, because then they just keep getting food sent to them. But we're going to be doing that. Reminder that we will have a game night this Sunday at 6:30. Computer to share a screen and a mobile device for each person playing. Now, I'm not saying you have to have one screen. What I'm saying is you don't have to have a screen for each person if that's going to be a restriction or a problem. We will make that happen. And then the things that we have going on next week on YouTube. Monday, I will issue my challenge. Tuesday, we're going to look at the scavenger hunt pictures. Wednesday, my special guest, Chris McLaughlin. Thursday, Llama Destroys the World for story time. And Friday, we'll see if my challenge was accepted. So other than that, I hope that you all have an incredible weekend. Tomorrow, make it a family day. I know that you guys are probably thinking, with quarantining. Oh, I haven't. I'm not announcing that until I'm not announcing that till Monday. You don't know who and you don't know what, but a challenge. Oh, in the beginning, I'm getting feisty. I'm getting feisty, so I need to make a challenge. Maybe it's just those luchador masks staring back at me. We'll have to see. But I know that you guys are thinking that with this quarantine, you're like every day seems like a family day. But tomorrow we're not going to have anything on YouTube, or we're not going to be doing Zoom. We will be doing that on Sunday night. So I encourage you, invite friends, invite people to be a part of it. We are going to have a good time, and love you guys. And I think that we're going to be having some fun at the end of April and going into May. We're going to make this happen. We're going to make it as successful as we can. So you all have a wonderful weekend. I look forward to hopefully seeing you on the church live stream Sunday morning, as well as Sunday night for our game night. I think that is going to be a blast. You all have a wonderful rest of your day and a great weekend. And remember, you are loved.